Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome to the Hot Seat. In the Hot Seat this evening is that eminent legal personality, Mr. Hemanta Warnakulasure. Good evening, Mr. Warnakulasure. Welcome to the Hot Seat.
Good evening for us. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's our pleasure indeed. Mr. Warnakulasure, there's a lot of consternation, and the word on most people's mouths and minds is bond. Not James Bond, but Treasury bond. Finally, after 18 months of a long, hard, arduous journey, full of pitfalls and so on, this report has been out. But this report has created a new club, a footnote club.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you make of this whole saga? And why is it so impossible for them to talk the truth?
First of all, I must confess that if not for that small news item in the Sunday Times, which they published once and after that they did not pursue it, it was this channel, it was Faraz, you and your chairman, who brought this to the focus of the people. I think this entire country is very grateful to you, Faraz, and for that indefatigable spirit, steely strength, steely resolve to expose this scam, which others were little doubtful whether they can proceed. In fact, I believe you all did this in the heat of many other threats, the possible legal action, possible that they would have done something to this channel, but then you thought it is your duty to expose the corruption and the bond scam to the people.
Well, it's like this, Mr. Warnakulasure. Thank you very much for those kind sentiments. But the pursuit of independent journalism is not only is it expensive, but it's dangerous, and it requires courage, commitment, and purpose of mind. All these matters come into play, and the job of the Newsfirst team has been made considerably easy in the secure knowledge that we have in our chairman a person who is committed to the principles of media freedom, and that is an expensive business, and as I said before, it's something that you need to be able to have the courage to take forward. So thank you, but we must remember that this is an intense team effort, and everybody at Newsfirst is grateful for above all the opportunity to be able to conduct this robust reportage without any fear, because that is how we are led.
I think the entire country should be grateful to you for that resolve. If not, I remember for us when the present President Maithripala Sirisena once walked into your studio for a Satana program and addressed the country, the entire country was listening. And they found the ratings have gone up so much. The then President ordered through the TRC to block the channel in Dialogue and many other places. But then the people were committed. So therefore, the first step in the good governance was taken by none other person, none other channel than Sirasa. Now, when I listened to Maithripala Sirisena and the others, I, for the first time, decided he should be the president of this country. And we must change this government. Why? There was one silver lining, that they were the main forum, the main topic was corruption and anti-corruption. So they said, everyone gave a promise that they'll bring all the crooks and to book, they'll charge them, prosecute them, and they will be free of corruption. Now that was a dream of the people, 62 million or 64 million people who voted for this government, what has happened? What has happened within a very short
14
time?
million. It's about 14 million.
No, yeah, 14 million. Yeah.
Yes.
Then, sorry. Then what's happened to the people who voted for this government with that hope? That hope faded away.
But
And
you see,
it is no longer people have forgotten the corruption of Rajapaksas. They are now talking about the bond scam and the corruption of this government.
well, you know, we've had a lot of hope in COPE, and we were rather hoping that COPE would have the necessary scope to look into all this, and we're glad that finally, after 18 months, it has gone beyond the biscope, and there is a report. But what is now worrying, Hemanta, is the uncertainty as to what will happen next.
Yeah.
Do you know what should happen next?
What should happen did not happen. I would go back and say, moment you all started this program of exposing the bond scam, Ranil Wickremesinghe, the then Prime Minister, appointed a committee of his own people, of his own loyalists to go into that. Even that committee did not absolve anyone. Then there was an application to the Supreme Court on preliminary technical grounds, which was dismissed. But what happened in between, I think for us, first time I think I'm exposing this, Mr. Wickremesinghe sent that report, and along with that some reports to the Attorney General. The Attorney General received the report, and then the Attorney General, then the acting Attorney General, decided to make an inquiry and made it a criminal file and sent it to the appropriate senior state, ASG, DSG, to inquire into this. Then what happened? Within a week, the most unprecedented thing happened. Mr. Arjuna Mahendran sent an invitation to the members of the Treasury Department for dinner or for lunch. The whole card was about 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 rupees. It was printed in gold and sent.
I'm sorry, I really have to get my head around this. You mean to say that the former governor, Arjuna Mahendran, sent out a dinner invitation
to the
members of the AG's department?
Then what happened? They were all prepared to go. Then one honest, honorable member of the Attorney General said, we have nothing to do with this invitation. They have sent, others did not know that this may refer to them. This may refer to us, so I'm not going. Then the others also did not go. But what is important is what happened to that file.
Yeah.
What happened to that file? The file was called back by the former Attorney General, the Joanjan Vijaythiraka, and then took it from the criminal division and sent to the civil division to find out whether there was a civil wrong. So you can see how the Attorney General Department has been directed by someone to wash this thing completely off, and the file is still stagnating.
On that note, we'll take a short break from the hot seat and come right back. Don't go away. This is the hot seat. Come back to the hot seat, and a good evening to you. We're joined today by Mr. Hemanta Vanakulasuriya, the eminent lawyer. Mr. Vanakulasuriya, you were telling us an absolutely interesting, riveting tale.
Yeah. Then what happened? Then what happened for us? The Attorney General should have immediately instructed the CID to look into this matter, and anybody is concerned in committing a crime, even without arresting them, they should have gone to court and impounded the passports of these two, but whoever who is going to be questioned. They did not do that. Then we also are informed that some section of the community which is trying to resolve this corruption, various joint committees are there. They have gone and made a complaint to the FCID. What did the FCID do? Nothing about it. Then Mr. Amaraveera, the Secretary General of the SLAP, went and complained to the Bribery Commission. Now, Bribery Commission went immediately when the complaint was made. They went and got the magistrate order preventing these people from going abroad. Now, did the Bribery Commission or the FCID, what action they took? Nothing. I am not saying that they must immediately arrest Arjuna Mahendran, the governor, or perpetual treasuries Aloysius, or any other person. They should have reported the fact to court and at least got their passport impounded and then started an independent investigation. This is the problem in Sri Lanka. This has happened not only under this government, happened under previous government, and happened right throughout, I think long before 1956, where there was political interference in every investigation.
So what can we do in this matter?
Yeah.
What is, now the COPE report's out, it's been handed over to the Speaker.
Yeah.
On the one hand, we have messages coming from the so-called Prime Minister's camp through Mr. Kirialu that the matter has been sent to the Attorney General Department. And then we have, on the other side, we have President Sirisena, who has appointed a 7-member committee headed by his stalwart Nimal Siripala. And that's a party at party level.
Now
so what's going on?
You send it to the Attorney General's Department. There's nothing to send because already it is there with the Attorney General's Department. Already the information is there.
So why is this,
and they are not doing anything because the
file
I was told was there's a number for criminal files and the civil files. It has become an aegis file. So now this is another way of delaying things.
So what's the effect of delaying this? Who are they trying to cover up?
They are to cover everyone of the involved. Because
the
if
fraud,
there is
the Mahendran,
everybody. I'm very sorry to say, if you take the past as an example, unfortunately, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Arjuna Mahendran will remain free. Aloysius will remain free. Others who abetted the crime will remain free because
and the money that is made
will nothing unless of course there is one person whom we believe we can trust is the President Maithripala Sirisena. Unless he appoints a special presidential commission, not like the commission that is
there is a growing call, isn't there?
The special presidential commission for with a warrant to examine this, and a special into that commission, if there are number of important police officers attached, investigators, then the investigation are directed by the judges of the commissioners, then we can expect some result. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen. In about 3-4 years, I mean, you cannot go on talking about bond every day, and people are waiting until Sirasa stops talking about the bond. Then that will be
we are unlikely to stop talking about the bond until we see that the people's aspirations and the people's expectations in this matter is brought to a logical legal conclusion.
Now you can see that there is how the wind is blowing. Now I saw Mr. Dasri Jayasekara coming on the television and saying that there is some mention of Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe, and if there is no confidence motion, we are going to protect him. Then similar things are expressed by Mr. Champik Ranawaka. Now my position is I don't think from knowing Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe that he has anything to do with this. But then knowing that he was a man of principles, he should step down and permit independent investigation to investigate into this because his name has transpired. He must first of all leave the investigators to investigate thoroughly, properly, without any influence.
And how is that achieved? How can that independence?
I believe if you take the examples of David Cameron and other people whom the UNP holds in high esteem, and some members of the European Parliament, what do they do when this kind of thing, if the accusations may not be true, may be true? For instance, David Cameron nearly resigned when the Panama Papers revealed that his father had some interest. But then subsequently he resigned because I think the real reason for his resignation was his father's
But what are the chances here?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. right throughout.
Mr. Wickremesinghe has a long history of being a member of the IDU, the International Democratic Union. He has held high office there during his period as his long period in the opposition. They have always been there. And why is it, Mr. Varnakula Surya, that the international agencies are ignoring what is going on? After all, where is the IMF and where is the ADB and where is the World Bank? Why are they being significantly silent, deafeningly silent on this matter?
For us,
why do you think?
For us, this has been the strong point of Mahinda Rajapaksa. He said IMF, World Bank and the European Union has certain agenda. As much as they don't talk about bombing of Iraq, as much as they don't participate, as much as the International Criminal Court refused to accept, refused to charge the Prime Minister of England, Blair, for the alleged crimes he committed in Europe, and similarly in the UN also, there is deafening silence about these atrocities. So therefore, I believe they believe their man is in power, and the entire Western world wants Ranil Wickremesinghe to be the Prime Minister.
Do you think there is a case for the people, for the Republic, the people, the Mahajanatawa, to write to or send emails, text messages to the Prime Minister urging him to give up at least his position as the Minister in charge of the subject of the Central Bank to allow for a robust, independent and fair and equitable investigation? Is there a case for that? Shall the people write to him?
We can urge the people who is worried about their monies, the provident fund monies and the other money that have been robbed by the greater than the great train robbery, or the bank robbery. But then there is unfortunately in this country there's certain section of the people who want to shield everyone. You can see from the manner in which Mr. Wickremesinghe behaved when this matter came up for the first time. Everything was done to cover up. Now, the first time. Can you remember when Richard D'Souza was killed? That government of Mr. Premadasa tried its best to prevent the real killers being exposed. Before that, Mr. Vijayanathan was killed, same thing happened. And when there is certain accusation, they get together, try to defend, try to lie to the people, try to defend their position, and they will do so until another government is formed. So this is very unfortunate. But I believe since Mr. Sirisena is from a different party and he has, I think he has absolved himself, all the things that UNP did for him is now over. He can now independently stand up and say.
But do you think there's anybody else in this parliament who can command the majority of the members
I don't know.
In parliament?
That I do not know, but my position is, as you say, even if you do not step down from the position of the premiership, he can do so by not being the minister in charge. I believe this ministry must be taken over by the president, and the police minister, the minister of
law and order.
Law and order must be taken over by the president and ensure that a free and fair investigation is carried out. I mean, this is what Mr. Maitripala promised. This is what we believed. This is what everyone.
I want to put it to you. All we have been met with, as you rightly point out, has been one delay after another, right? Including including proroguing Parliament and so on. Right now. If we look back a bit into January 2015 and the interim budget speech made by the finance minister in charge of the subject of finance, we better add that, because the finance minister is split into three. But the Minister of Finance says that he intended to introduce what he called a super gain tax, taxing individuals and businesses, anybody who had made over 2 billion in the 2014 year accounts. And he said, he made reference to what he called ill-gotten gains. And as far as I know, there has been no investigation to check if to check the basis of these so-called ill-gotten gains. But what I also know is that the bulk of these people who were forced to pay this money without any form of investigation were large corporates who employ thousands, in tens of thousands they employ people. They write checks out every month. They employ vast amounts of capital, and yet they've been told that these were ill-gotten gains on the say-so of one member of the government, and they introduced the super gains tax. Well, these were supposed to be unusual profits, whirlwind profits, some public interest activists once said. Mr. Varnakulasuriya, I put it to you, should or should it not be a consideration for the Minister of Finance to introduce a super gains tax to tax primary dealers all the way back from 2009 till now on their profits, anything over 750 million, let's say, or a billion. Let's tax them all at 100% of the profit to bring back equity to this whole industry, because here's one company that's owning 83% of the profits. What do you say about this super gains tax?
I don't think I can agree with the super gains tax for us, because
but there are companies who've paid it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's right.
They have paid it without any basis.
I believe that killed the initiative of people to make money. I mean, you can take a biggest company, as you say, they employ thousands of people, so therefore they have to make so much a profit.
Right.
And it's very, very wrong for the Minister of Finance to say that they are ill-gotten money. They are not ill-gotten money.
Well,
ill-gotten money is where about 10-15 people work, and you make billions within a very short time. But for this matter, I think these monies could be seized by a court order. Until that has not been done, first of all, they must go, prevent these people from going abroad, name the suspect.
Would it be too wrong, Mr. Varnakulasuriya, for us, the people, to ask the Minister of Finance to impose such a tax on these primary dealers, and that the money be remitted forthwith to the consolidated account?
No, but I believe what is necessary, they might, on that matter, they might go to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court might think otherwise. My position is very, very simple. Now a person is alleged to have made a lot of money. Say, even I know a case where the allegation, he made 500,000 rupees. They went to the CID went to the magistrate court fort, got an order to prevent this man from dealing with the money. The money is in the bank, but you can't do anything with the money.
On that note, let's take a quick break. Don't go away. This is the Hot Seat. Welcome back to the Hot Seat, and good evening. We're joined today by Mr. Hemanta Varnakulasuriya. The Hot Seat tonight is getting a bit hotter, and it's all thanks to the bond. Oh no, the bond. Indeed, the bond. Mr. Varnakulasuriya.
Yeah.
So you're not in agreement with a super gain tax, although it sounds to me as being eminently feasible, especially because all these publicly listed companies who made over 2 billion were virtually forced into a corner and had to pay the money.
Yeah.
So if you know, it's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander.
Yeah.
All right. So if that's not the case, what should be done now? Why is it that
they must immediately go before a magistrate court, file a report, get the passports impounded, get all the bank accounts seized, so that now I was told, I saw in the Sunday Times that Mr. Aloysius has gone on a buying spree. Buying various things. Very soon the money will be over, you know. He could buy half of Sri Lanka and the money will be over. But before that, I mean, even now it's too late. what is the government doing? Is that the
What
way
about
in which
the presidential inquiry?
no, even the presidential inquiry is another matter. But first of all, initially, the AG, if he referred, must send a police officer with a B report to the magistrate's court and ask for these. The magistrate will grant the relief. And if they anything, they can go to court. The other side can come to court and challenge that order. My position is, by the time the presidential commission is appointed, by the time other investigations go on, this money will wither away. My position,
It will be frittered away.
Frittered away.
It's 11 billion.
11 billion will go because I mean you buy various other assets. I mean, then how can you get the money?
But isn't it a classic case then for the FCID?
Why not? For FCID, the complaint has been made. Nothing has happened. Now, who prevented an application being made to the Fort Police Station or to the Colombo Magistrates Court? Who? Somebody would have told them not to proceed with this. Throw the file away. What happened to the Treasury Department? Why did that happen? Why did they suddenly transfer the criminal file into a civil file and wanted some officer to go into the civil aspect of it? What has happened to the Primary Commission? Why didn't they go before court and immediately ask for an application to this? Now, this is not, if this happens to you and me, you don't have to have 5 billion or 1 billion. If it's 100,000, they'll immediately go to court and impound and make an order, seize the money and prevent the money being drawn by anyone until the matter is resolved.
Why do you think, I think this is the final question, why do you think the Prime Minister is so adamant on holding the candle for Mr. Mahendran?
No,
why? What is this? What is this business?
The only thing is, if you look at this, the whole thing looks suspicious for us. Why should any politician hold the candle for a person who had been almost found guilty by the court? And before that, there was intense speculation whether the whole thing was correct and whether whether central bank was robbed of 15 or 5 or 10 or billion. What happened? Now, in another country, in a developed country, unfortunately we are in a third world country, for us we must accept that. In another country, this should have been sufficient to go before court and then immediately impound the monies. Then in India, there is public interest litigation. They would go to the Supreme Court and immediately got to get an order. But here in Sri Lanka, things are very slow.
We do things differently in Sri Lanka.
And we are permitting people to rob the country. I mean, we have, like all other governments, they promise to be clean, they promise to resolve corruption. You remember Chandrika Bandara Kumaratunga, Dushane and Bhishane, what happened? She became the most corrupt woman ever to become the president of this country.
On that note, on a note where we agree that things are done differently in Sri Lanka, but where we hope things will be done in a normal democratic fashion, we shall take your leave. Thank you very much, Hemant.
Thank you very much, Farah. Thank you very much.
And this is the Hot Seat. You want to keep up to date with everything that's happening on Bond and other matters? Watch Newsline every morning from 7 to 7:30 and join us on the Hot Seat every Wednesday straight after the news at 9:30. Monday through to Friday, that's Newsline, and Hot Seat is on Wednesdays. On that note, take care and good night.